Thank you for joining me on TMI as we x-ray Nigeria at 61, looking at the gains so far and discussing this vital, sensitive topic with me, starting from my extreme left. I have the former SSA to the governor of Edo State on legal matters, and is also a constitutional lawyer, Notary Republic of Nigeria, Adams Aliyu. Good morning, Adams.
Good morning, moderator. Good day, viewers.
Also close to him, I have former ASU chairman, Union branch, and also he is the current HOD of the Chemistry Department, University of Benin, Professor Julius Iyasele. Thanks for coming, Professor.
Thank you for having me, and good morning, viewers.
Well, Nigeria, we may say, is at a crossroad. We had the United Nations General Assembly where the president really deliberated on issues concerning the need to look inwards to symptoms of conflicts, not just looking at quelling conflicts, but quelling the symptoms, which includes hunger, poverty, human rights abuses, poor governance. And we are at the stage where some are saying, well, is there anything to celebrate? Looking at our history so far, gaining independence for 61 years, is there anything to celebrate? But looking at what we've had so far, can you say that there is cause to celebrate? Adams Aliyu.
Well, whatever barometer is used to measure the longevity from 1960 days, the indices are there that there's not much to celebrate. What our founding fathers labored for, the labors of our past heroes, they are now in vain. Our founding fathers even encapsulated it in the original national anthem, that though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. But here we are, tribalism, ethnicity, religious bigotry, they have taken over the place. So there's really not much to celebrate. Otherwise, 60 years, 6 decades, it's a long time to be matured. Despite the independence we got on the platter of gold, unlike Angola, Soweto, other places that had to shed blood, the dividends are not as it's supposed to be. Democracy, well, maybe because we now govern ourselves. Aliens and colonial masters are no more governing us. But the taste of a body is in the east. The average Nigerian is unhappy. Fighting insecurity, fighting unemployment, fighting other vices, whereas before independence, things were done on merit. Nobody took cognizance of where you came from. Interviews were conducted, merit was there. There was no quota system, scholarships were given. And here we are. The leaders at that time were to serve their people. Now, the reverse is the case. Our leaders are semi-gods. They enrich themselves. The masses are to serve them. We're in the two different worlds. Now, leaders are contemplating how to perpetuate themselves in office or forward their surrogate, while the masses are basking in the vices of inclement circumstances, unemployment, banditry, rape, kidnapping. It is sad. 61 years is no joke, but there's really nothing to hide about and celebrate.
Okay, let's look at what the president did say on the floor of the United Nations General Assembly on Friday, Professor Julius, where he said that, well, the aspect of tackling insecurity has been his watchword, and that not only is he looking at the causes, looking at conflicts, but also looking at the symptoms that is generating or degenerating into conflicts. He spoke about poor governance. He spoke about poor aspect of democratic rule and also human rights abuses. And some are saying that with the language, with the strength of his words, that he seemed not to be much in action with those words he said on the floor of the House. Do you agree?
Very, very correct. When I listened to him, I just felt that is the president of the country listening to what he is saying? Is he engaging his brain before speaking? You know, so because purely paradox, as against what is obtainable in this country, he went there to speak to the world. But unfortunately, outside where the meeting was holding, the crisis even there exemplifies what is happening in this country. The protest outside where the meeting was holding shows how the state of Nigeria. We saw how people were entering into a house in the UK or the embassy to collect money and uniform to protest for Nigeria. And people, the others who were protesting against Nigeria were saying, those people they are giving money to are fake Nigerians. It's clear of what we have degenerated to in this country. We have seen in this country that you can be doing very poorly and then you get Nigerians or even some other nationals paid to protest for you. We have degenerated to a country of aluko. That is second hand. Country of deceit and all that. That is what we are seeing here. How can the president, how on earth can the president go out to say that he is tackling insecurity? As at 1960, we had complete Nigeria. But as we speak now, flags of Boko Haram has been hoisted in some local governments and all that of this country.
Okay. But let me quickly cut in.
Yes.
Will you not be wrong if you say that this is a country of deceit?
That is so simply.
You should be civil in your presentation.
No, I am civil.
You can't say
I want to
that
be true to fact.
You can't generalize.
No, I can't be. I want to be true to fact.
And we have the president on the floor of the House.
Yes.
Where he made mention of his efforts in tackling insecurity.
Okay.
You can't say that he's not engaging his brain in that respect.
Excuse me, sir. Didn't you hear outside where they were saying that the president himself, the protesters were saying president is a Boko Haram? You didn't hear where they were, that was the song they were singing outside. I didn't say it. It is the dynamics, is the evidences that we have on ground. That is what has prepared the speech I'm making this morning.
Okay, but we can't extend that. We can't extend that to the podium. Yes, we can't extend that to the podium.
But let's
because he still remains the president.
Yes, he's
been making efforts to ensure that the aspect of insecurity is tackled headlong.
How? Let's look at this now. What are we talking about? By that same yesterday, unfortunately, 34 Nigerians, life was snuffed out of 34 Nigerians, whereas some conglomerates were holding meetings in Kaduna. Do you understand? People who were supposed to be representing the entire northern Nigeria were holding meetings. Both the governors and the elders, as it were holding meeting somewhere else in the same Kaduna where that meeting was holding. Life, as much as 34 persons died. So, and you have somebody presiding over such a country, and you want me to say that such person is doing well or having, we have said it before. If they have listened to us on this platform where we have continually said, look, the problems of this country is insincerity. That is what played out at the UN. It's the same thing. Insincerity. You don't speak true to fact. You don't say exactly what it is. You want the world to applaud you, whereas, listen, we can't be playing the ostrich continuously because we are going down for it. If we don't speak now, like they will say in the church, forever remain silent.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Professor Julius. I'll come back to you. Yeah. Now, Adams Aliyu, you have been in support of the APC government, and upon which you were taken as the SSA to the governor on legal matters. Now, you've been supporting this dream, the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, where he came on board in ensuring that he spoke to power by saying that he's going to fight corruption, he's going to ensure that the economy stands, and he's going to tackle terrorism. Now, will you say the same song that you did before he came to power?
Well, facts are secret, and the times have changed. In yesteryears, when you are campaigning, you read out your manifesto. Free this, free that, electricity, etc. But the issue speaks for itself. You ask if we could confirm what was promised and whether we say abide by it. This is a payback period, because in the final analysis, the masses, the people will decide. Some of our leaders have failed their followers. It was Abraham Lincoln, 16th president of the USA, that said that you can fool some people sometimes. You can fool all the people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all of the time. So here we are, the Nigerians are getting wiser. If a leader thinks he can always eat his cake and have it, a payback period is coming. There are elections in Anambra this year, I think Ondo next year, culminating in presidential election in 2013. The masses have the card, they have the aces to use in voting. The leadership, the political elites, the politicians, they are in charge. Even the fight over party chairmanship and the rest, myself and yourself will not be there to select a party chairman. It is the members that are delegates that are qualified to vote. Even in primaries, to bring out a presidential candidate, I may not be there if I'm not a delegate, and I can be there. It is people who are in the leadership position, party delegate, that will bring out the money. But I'm sure the masses, the citizenry, they have the ace. In the last election, the incumbent president was defeated, that President Jonathan. And that was the first time a sitting president would lost an election, because people wanted change. Here we are, gravitating towards 2023. You cannot tell. The people, if they are tired of a change, that is why there is democracy. Even in America, Trump was a sitting president. He lost an election, and somebody else won. So things change. There's no permanence.
Okay. Just as you made mention of things are changing.
Yes.
Why you still have your...
I have something to add to that matter, okay, about APC and all that. Okay. Excuse me. The parties in Nigeria have just only become a vector to coming onto positions. It's not because it holds any ideological stance. Because the same APC member in PDP that said presidency must return back to the South is the same APC member who read out yesterday the information that the North will not agree to that, that is not constitutional, that there is zoning and all that. Lalong and Akeredolu are in the same political party, but yet they are singing different songs here. So you have seen that now the parties don't have ideology. It is just only a stance, a vector on how to come onto power. What you do afterwards depends on your inclination.
Yeah, I was going
and the only inclination in Nigeria now is ethnicity and individual interest, personal interest.
I was going there as a way of looking at, as in bringing a situation where we can be able to arrest the ugly incidents that we may be having. Because both of you agreed that we've been having leadership failures.
Yes.
Now, do you believe in the third force coalition as a way out of this?
What?
Third force, like we don't need APC, we don't need PDP. Now, do you believe in the third force coalition?
Well,
like what Jega said
yes,
in recent posts?
Yes, I just
that
hope
the APC and the PDP, they failed us.
I just hope it won't be cosmetic. I just hope that those who are going to come together are those that will be anointed by God to want to deliver this country. I just hope it won't be the same crisscrossing or from one party to the other. I just hope that it's people with the intent now wanting to save this country. Otherwise, it remains the same. That is what we are seeing here. Otherwise, the best would have been the third coalition you are mentioning. There is another group need to emerge from these political force. But however, I want to hope, or I wish to hope, how do I put it, that those people will come up and not with, very serious technical politics as it used to be, yes, with the average northerner.
You mean they shouldn't come up with ulterior motives?
Yes, now, because at the end of the day, there's something, a boo-boo trap, but then the essence is because these people are clearly said that power will not shift from the north. That is what they were telling you yesterday.
Okay, but we have a constitutional lawyer here. Yeah. Now, is it democratic to zone positions as it concerns the office of the presidency in elections?
When you talk of zoning, etc., you are talking of a de jure situation and a de facto situation. De jure means according to law. The constitution is open, that anybody can contest election at any time. There's no limitation. But the de facto, that is in fact, yes, people now go into sentiment, equity, good conscience, and zone, quote and unquote. It is not documented.
But is it democratic?
Yeah, to zone, that is personal arrangement. When the parties are in them, they agree. You remember 1999.
But can you zone at the expense of the public? Can you zone at
yeah,
the
what I'm saying,
of
it
the
is not
public?
written down, and you cannot hold somebody on it that is breaking it, because once upon a time, it was in 1999, we had an election here. The presidency was zoned to the south. Only the southerners were allowed to present candidates. Party A brought out Obasanjo, Party B brought out Falai. The northern part of the country were told that enough was enough, that somebody won an election, you didn't allow him to come in. It is clear that you are terrorizing the whole system. So they didn't contest, but it is not written down. So those of them who are insisting that let the ticket be thrown open and you go on merits, it is constitutional. Because the Constitution does not forbid any zone from fielding candidates. Okay. It is only circumstantial when people get sentimental, when they use precedents, they say, okay, this time around, we have zoning to be so. Otherwise, zoning is not in the Constitution.
Okay, but again, you still have the floor. I'll come back to you. You still have the floor. If we're to look at issues emanating from the various regions, because there is this belief that, well, if a particular tribe has been sitting there for a long time, a particular ethnic group, and still we're having issues of inequalities, then it should be shifted to the other region.
That is politics.
So if you look at that, if you look at that doctrine, is it far from the truth?
There are people who are marginalized. Should seek equity with clean hands. They should go and lobby the other people not to fail. But zoning is not written in the Constitution. Okay. It's even a circumstantial bylaw by one of the parties. On their own, they say this tenor is zone here. It's not written down, and it is not bounding constitutionally.
Okay, so it's possible that it won't fly.
It could fly.
Okay. What's your position in that?
What is representative of the people now is zoning. What is moral in this sense, in Nigerian sense now, is zoning. Is it not the same government that came up with Federal Character Commission? Yeah. What is the idea behind Federal Character Commission? Is it not the same government that came up with quota system? What is the idea behind quota system? Is it not that the component arms should be represented? That is what zoning is all about. In clear terms, what I said, Federal Character Commission, it has to do with zoning. And we have it in our constitution in one way or the other. And so why are we not coming and saying that, okay, maybe at the apex now you can't have zoning? We told our people earlier that this is where we are going to. This is where the country is shifting to. The gains that the ethnic group that has brought trouble into this country have made, they won't want to lose it. Except if they get a puppet who will do their bidding. Otherwise, they will not relinquish power.
Okay, but is it not possible that those who are thinking of this, looking at the need to shift power to the south, we see the need where voters should be allowed to determine who gets what, when, and how? Now, if they are bringing about this issue of shifting power from the north to the south, does it mean that they are giving the impression that the voters, whatever they are doing concerning their decision in the ballot boxes, really don't count?
Yes, this has been summarized a long time ago. If you go to the north now, you can register at the Emir's Palace. You can collect your voter's card from the Emir's Palace. But that is different from what it is in the south. And some persons have alluded to it that even goats have registered in some parts of this country. Let me be using the region.
But you can't restrict it to the north because there are also possible places even in the south.
You see,
where some traditional rulers are also involved in that. So it's not restricted to the north.
I didn't measure any region. You see, here I am stylish about it. But we know, you know, if you go now, go to our local governments and see the number of cards that have not been collected and all that. And you see, some part of this country knows that they could control anything, both animate and inanimate, to cast votes in the area. And so that when it comes to number, anytime, they will always carry the day. If you check, when even only APC did a kind of compilation of their members, the population, as it were then, before this government was put in place, showed that over 14 million vote in the north. And so, to a great extent, it now means that a little of, they just have some handsome number, or few numbers, I mean, from the south, and they will carry the day. And that is what, if you listen to what the forum they were saying yesterday, is that it's by number. And they know that they have played this politics a long time ago. Why our people were sleeping down the south. And so, it's clear that if they go into elections by number, that they will win.
You always
okay. Let's get your viewpoint, because there's also this clamor for electronic transmission of election results, which is still suffering a setback. I want your voice on that. Why you react to what Professor Junior said.
Setback. We are moving towards modern democracy. Digital has taken over from analog. It is electronic voting that will streamline voting, so that the voting process, the counting process, collation process will be electrically transmitted. So I'm always for electronic voting.
No, looking at electronic transmission, yes, even if we can't get to electronic voting.
No, you cannot manipulate that, so it is better than analog voting.
Okay.
Then the Constitution talks of majority rule, that the government by the majority. And here now, my co-debater has enunciated that a part of the country is predominantly regarded as having more population. And unless you appeal to them, you play the politics.
Okay, but do you believe that assertion?
Well, facts, statistics all years have shown that the population of the north is more than the south. So who am I? I'm not a statistician or a demographer. And
I want to ask a very salient question over this. Is there anywhere again in the world where a desert region is more populated than a forest zone?
Okay, let me answer you.
We address that. Let him finish.
So, you talk of desert because of the geographical situation, etc., that population is not. But here we are told, for instance, there are 9 million voters in Kano. During the last election, results were coming in. Professor Jega was moderating. 2.5 Anambra, 1.5 Ebonyi, for 2 million Ibini. But when results started to come from Kaduna, 7 million.
It overwhelmed all the figures.
9 Kano. So that's where we are. So Nigerian politics is different from political science, which we study in the classroom. We may have to appeal and play the politics that was played in 1999 to ensure that the zone in which is not documented, some people step aside and let it go around. Otherwise, if we go by population, election will be conducted. The area with more voters, more population, will continue to win. And because the Constitution is saying that majority rule, democracy is government of the people. Majority will have the day, minority can only have a say. So we will cry and cry, but let us play the advanced politics, appeal to equity, good conscience, sentiments, that because of the federal character provision in the Constitution, because of the federal character and quota system, we should allow it to circulate. Otherwise, the Constitution empowers anybody. If I were even agitating now for independent candidates, if you don't belong to any party, you think you are fit and proper person to rule, go and contest as an independent candidate. It happened in the First Republic. Some independent candidates who are men of timber and caliber, they won without belonging to any political party. But whereas there's no independent candidates, you must belong to a political party, you must be fielded by that party, and the numerical strength of the voters. It's a pity that in democracy, everybody is regarded as equal. The beggars who go to the emir's palace to say Rakadede, everyone has a vote. The emir himself has a vote. So there are many things militating against this population. Because look at a man here has the weternite. He has 1 wife, 2, 3 children. Up there, the average man has 4 wives, 20 children.
So that could, that could also amount
to the
number of population that is coming from that.
If he moves with his household to go and vote, they will all vote one way. The man, 4 wives, 20 children, already sure. So at the end of the day, majority will always have a say.
So you seem to suggest that the population coming from that direction
is as a result of this.
Yes, it's a result of this.
So,
and not the fact that was presented by Professor.
No, everybody is equal.
Because you are giving the impression that that is a desert area.
No.
So the figures coming from that area can't be trusted. But he just brought a different dimension to it.
What he has said is very important. But that figure, the
20 children per family.
That man, the wife, that is, the that, and the wife are no Nigerians.
Okay.
There is no boundary there. Nigeria is not a sovereign nation as it were. If you go down there, somebody told a governor said, I have my cousins in Cameroon, in Senegal, in Mali, and all that.
Niger.
In Niger, somebody went and said, you people can come into Nigeria without visa and all that. Is that not what we are saying? A man that spoke to the South a few days ago is from Mauritania. Recently on Facebook, he showed that he went to Mauritania with his family. They had a family meeting in Mauritania. And he's the one holding, the way they talk in the local parliament, holding ground in Nigeria here. That the certain governors cannot say so and all that.
Okay, as we round off in this conversation,
not in Nigeria.
As we round off in this conversation, let's look at
no boundary.
I'll come back to you. The question I'm asking Professor Julius yesterday, you also answer that. Let's look at the electronic transmission of election results. Right. Now, some are saying that this is a calculated attempt by some lawmakers or some party to perpetrate continuity in governance. Do you agree?
You're asking me? You see, there are questions without that doesn't need an
Rhetoric
answer.
question.
You understand? Because this question, for instance, is clear. It's very, very clear. Something that says, okay, after voting, send results electronically without people. Because what happens before is at the ward level, you collate, you send to the local government level. After the local government level, you come to the state, and it's human beings that carry all the. And what we have seen in the past is that one is that you find that hoodlums who want to, you know, abort that process. That is another is that even people want to have their hands on the results, manipulate the results and all that, and then you now have a process that can help to cure all these maladies.
Okay.
That is at the ward level, you can transmit your results straight to the center, and everybody in the country will be seeing it. And so, what is better than that?
Okay, but how do you marry this with the issue concerning not being able to cover the entire space, as NCC said, in respect of electronic transmission?
How did the Kaduna state governor, how did he cover the whole space?
Via electronic voting.
How? He carried that, yes.
Yes,
how did he do it? So, leave all those.
It's possible.
If we want to, we will be able. That is the truth.
Okay, your viewpoint on that?
Yeah, my viewpoint is that electronic voting is simple. It is almost corruption-free, and it is visible for all to see. Videlus ex credulus. Seeing is believing. So there will be no lacuna for people to interfere with manipulation, add to the figure, and allow counting. So the National Assembly should do us proud by opting for electronic voting. Since it has been tested, test run in Kaduna is succeeded.
Electronic voting is a different one, apart from that of electronic transmission of results.
It's the same thing.
Okay, now, but let's look at what is before the National Assembly, because they are saying like what the electoral umpire is saying, that they are ready, that the structures are ready to ensure that they transmit election results electronically. But the National Assembly is saying that it's subject to approval of the NCC and the National Assembly. Yeah. How do we cut through that?
Well, if the National Assembly is foot dragging, they don't want to put their imprimatur on this, it is unfortunate, because they are our representatives. We elected them to go and represent us. And I hope with time, before the general voting starts, National Assembly will change and hacking.
You are hopeful?
I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic.
Okay. I think that's as we are rounding off. What do you think? Are you still hopeful in that regard?
If they are always creating anarchy, let them know.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't allow for a peaceful change, you make violent change inevitable.
That's what we don't pray for, and we don't want to degenerate to that extent.
That is why we are.
So let's look at the positive light. Let's look at the positive side.
Allow it? It's supposed to be that. Is the same thing about the electoral law that was sent to the amendments and all that was sent to the National Assembly that didn't almost see the light of the day.
Okay, what's the intelligent way to go about this case?
About this,
the intelligent way to go about this case without degenerating.
I think we plead with the media and individuals. That's why we have said people's the ability to protest should come up. People should leave the comforts of their home to say no to the way that government is running in this country. And then the media should become more virulent and all that, and then also potent, so that we can drive home some of the things we want in this country. Because when people climb up to power, they throw away the ladder.
Okay.
And say they won't want to return back.
Thank you very much, Adam Saliu, for taking our time to be part of this discussion.
But I have something to say at Nigerian 61. That a man that is at 61 is an adult. And when you have a man not able to take care of his home and all that, that man is unstable. And when a man is unstable, it means the man is not well. And when it's not well, like madness it is, only death can cure it.
Okay, thank you.
That is the situation.
Okay, thank you. Let me still extend that gesture to you.
Nigeria will not die. The labor of our heroes past will not be in vain.
That's why I like Adams.
Thank you, Adam Saliu. Big thanks, Professor Julius Yesele, for taking our time to be part of this discussion. Well, it's a German issue, and we just hope that governments will look inwards and see how to really tackle this issue headlong, because the aspect of transmitting results of elections electronically is the way forward. Well, shortly, I will be joined by the Federal Road Safety Commission Edo State Sector Commander, Henry Benamesia, as we look at issues concerning road crashes, and also with a road safety consultant. Do stay.